WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team. Online at theyoungteam.com.
Today, I get to talk with journalist Shay. She is a friend of mine. She has her own, is it a company or a brand? I think I would call it a brand.
It is. It's a brand.
Called ShayTuned.
ShayTuned.
She is a paralegal as well as a journalist. So we're crossing over today.
We is law and media.
We're gonna talk law and media. Yes.
I love it.
And two things that you're excellent at. And so we wanted to bring you in and talk a little bit about some things that are going on currently in our community.
I'm grateful to sit down and you even giving me the opportunity to get, this platform to have me do law and media, because it's like one of my goals. A lot of people don't know what's going on. So
yeah, just to inform and talk about it and get other people to talk about it. I know
absolutely.
We were saying that before, that one of the points of having these conversations is to get other people to discuss it, discuss
very
it in your own
controversy conversations that be had, but it's okay, because as long as everybody respect everybody's opinion, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you never know. So
yeah, like you said, so these are controversial topics.
It is.
But we want to sit down. We want to listen to each other. So this is Ohio State University's DEI policy is changing right now. I know I just heard Kent State University also shut down some of their resource buildings.
Yes.
Which I was really surprised by. But tell me a little bit about this and what it looks like for Ohio State University.
So what you just described was like a ripple effect. It feel like everybody's following suit once they shut down these resource centers and these programs that people are needing and looking forward to. And it's actually not fair to certain people that's in the community, honestly. It's like they're putting people on the back burner and they're following suit of what the laws is coming about.
Right.
Basically, at the end of the day, we have people that's in a big house making these laws and they're telling us what to do, and they are following suit. Granted, a lot of people don't understand that, and they're like, oh, you can go against it. Sometimes you can't go against the law. The law is the law. And in order for them to continue, I'm not nowhere near supporting it, but in order for them to continue to operate how they can or should for the university, they have to follow these laws, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not saying it's fair whatsoever. It's just they have to. And a lot of people are upset.
Yeah. I mean, I know there were removal of LGBTQ plus advocacy resources and restrictions on events like Pride Month. I mean, right now is Pride Month, and a lot of those resources were removed. And that was removed from Ohio State University as well.
Critics was not happy about that whatsoever. People of that community was so hurt because they feel like they keep fighting for their rights over and over and over. And then it just gets smacked with something like that in their faces. It's like, y'all don't care about it. Like, they're feeling like they're being voiceless in this whole situation, and it's targeting them specifically. So critics is not happy. From what I know, and people personally was very upset at the choice that was made.
Yeah.
About that.
So I want to talk about neutrality versus inclusivity. So these are like the arguments for this and against this. So these DEI policy changes, for people who don't know, DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Inclusion means that everybody is included.
Exactly. Like we're all equal, right? Included.
And so I guess I just wonder, why would you even want neutrality? I mean, right? I just personally feel like if we're going to be neutral, that's just such a boring world. But maybe you can speak to that, the two arguments, neutrality versus inclusivity.
Honestly, I think people more so don't feel like they're included and they're not being treated equal. These laws that's being passed and being made, it's not made for them. It's kind of like they're targeting that specific audience, or they're targeting them wholeheartedly, and they're not feeling like they're following the policies of this period. So they're not included. They don't feel equal as they should feel equal or included. And at the end of the day, it's like, again, they have to keep fighting. They just going to have to keep fighting. And the fact that stands for that and nobody's standing on what it stands for is very frustrating to the community, because it's like, Well, dang, this was made to have us feel safe or feel like we're welcome here. This was the whole point of this being made, so we can have somewhere to be, a place to belong. But
Well, and I remember one time I actually watched this video, and it was such a good example of equity where basically it had all of they were high school seniors and they were standing on the side of basically like a huge field, right?
okay.
And they said, okay, we're going to run across the field, but before we run across the field, I'm going to ask you some questions. And it was like, take 3 steps forward if both your parents are still married and living in the same home. Take 3 steps forward if you, have parents who make X amount of dollars or more, And so all these kids, all these high school seniors who had these certain things took a bunch of steps forward.
Wow.
And then there were other kids that were left at the line who didn't have all of these things that they had talked about. And that's an example of equity. And then they said, okay, now go ahead and race to the finish line. Because these kids had the resources.
And these
kids
that's the
didn't.
separation, yeah.
And that's really an example of equity. And then now we're literally taking away, we're saying,
Let's separate it.
Let's not have those DEI resources anymore.
Yes.
No equity resources anymore. Just everybody gets the same thing. Well, not everybody needs the same thing.
Right.
Some people need some more assistance to help them get to the same starting line as these people up here.
I totally agree. And to take them away and take that resources that they need, where they're going to go if you're taking it away from them, where they start line.
Well, and then they're going to have to work twice as hard. And not that I'm not saying that somebody couldn't do that, but but that's the point of having those resources.
And the point of being equal and included. So you don't have to work twice as hard because it's not fair on your behalf.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So that's just a really wild law. I know that there have been just a lot of money pulled from universities.
Yes,
There's been a lot of money pulled from different research
a lot of
centers.
support, a lot of advocacy that has been, since they made that decision, a lot of people is not supporting. Even if you're not in the community, people are still hurt by why would you do that? Because you have friends and family that's in that community, and it's just like, come on now, it's like it's not fair to them whatsoever. And they feel some type of way about it because we're living in a day and age where they're actually doing this. Like, come on now.
Right.
It's just, they fought so hard for too long for their rights. And it's like they still fight it. But that's everyday life with everybody, honestly. It's not even just their community. That's just with every single body. So...
All right, we're going to go to our second controversial topic for the day, the marijuana restrictions bill. Lawmakers are considering updates to recreational marijuana laws. Some proposals aim to limit THC content in retail products, while others suggest restrictions on home growing. So share with us a little bit about this bill.
Well, since it became legal, everybody that I didn't know was a smoker became a smoker. It was so crazy.
Everyone's growing in their home.
Everybody is growing in their home. Their dispensaries is put everywhere. Everybody is a money-making game when it comes to marijuana.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got richer, a lot of people got poorer because they bought it. So the marijuana situation is very controversial because a lot of people use it for medical use.
Yeah.
And that's been around for a long time. So a lot of people is very upset about it. It's like, you guys, this actually helps some people, contrary to the belief, but people get medical use for marijuana.
Right.
And then you got other people who does it illegally and they try to sell drugs on the street that people is just like, come on, and it don't be right. It's different strands, different forms and all that. I don't smoke, you guys, but I know that, all right? But it's different things that comes with marijuana. It's a lot of controversy because you can still get in trouble with the law for it.
Right, because you can only have, so the law that they're proposing is you can only have a certain amount of plants in your home, and then they're talking about...
still can get pulled over. If they smell marijuana, they still can pull you over and search the car for any extra drugs thinking that you have them. Even if they smell it, you still can get pulled over.
Right.
Cops smell it.
You can be, if you can't be driving under the influence.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people don't, it's legal. Granted, you are correct, but if a police smell it on you, you still can get in trouble for that. Because if you got more than what you should be having in that car, even driving while smoking is still bad because you're getting high while on the road. Like,
Right.
who wants to be next to somebody like that? Seriously. So people don't understand that part.
So do you think that because it's become legal, do you think that it promotes responsible use in public safety, or do you think, and I guess you don't even have to say your opinion if you don't want to. I know that their supporters of it being legal think that it promotes responsible use in public safety. Do you agree, disagree, or do you what are your thoughts on that?
I believe a lot of people, I guess it depends on how you look at it, honestly. So throughout the whole situation, it can get messy because, again, you can still get in trouble with this no matter what, whether you support it or you don't.
You have to really look at the actual rules and restrictions and make sure that you're following.
So when people found out, like, oh, it's legal, y'all, we can do, no, wait, it's legal, but it's some certain ground rules that y'all just did. That little fine print that people don't like to read matters.
Right. And the amount of THC content limits are changing too, potentially, in this law.
Yes, it is. And THC getting sold in stores too. You can pick that up. They come in gummy bears. You can buy weed pens, and now it's a lot that comes. It's a lot of forms that you can have this in. Some is safe, some isn't safe. But at the end of the day, it's very scary to think about, honestly, because, like I said, it's used for medical use for some people. It helps people.
Right.
But people abuse it.
Right.
On the other hand,
abuse
so
anything,
you can abuse it or you can use it for safety.
Okay.
And I think that's where the thin line between both, it depends on what are you actually using it for.
So the biggest thing I would say that we're kind of getting out of this is, if you do grow in your home, or if you are using marijuana medically or not, you need to follow the law, follow the restrictions.
You do.
It is legal now. That, again, like, you can have your opinions of if that's good or not.
Exactly. People just don't comprehend.
All right. So we got to look at the rules. We got to follow the law.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whether
you get in trouble for that.
You think this is good or not, just make sure that you're looking at what's legal. So absolutely.
People pay attention to the laws, please, because you still can get in trouble for it. People just think that you can't. And we have cases that people just still getting in trouble for this type of stuff. And it's like, you guys, y'all still can get in trouble.
Yeah.
We see it every day. I mean, we sit here and we defend people every day on certain type of cases. And it's like, y'all just don't understand. So just read the fine print. There's laws and order for this stuff. People see things on social media and just go with it.
Right.
That's where the misinformation come in at, because like, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about.
Right.
They pick up a book, then don't understand nothing that's going on, and they just take it and run. And I'm like, here to tell people, please do y'all research. Y'all
Make sure you're reading good websites. For laws, look at government websites. Make sure you're reading the correct information. That's so important, especially in our social media culture.
Absolutely.
We sometimes,
because that's our source of misinformation. I'm just throwing that out there. Social media. If it's not a credible source, please just do your research on it and quit sharing stuff like y'all know what y'all talking about. People share it and just add their opinions on the law, and it's like, what? You don't even know what that's just your opinion about it. But if you go look it up, then and you read it, then you can grasp what it's actually talking about. People don't do that nowadays, and that's just like a big thing. Like, please read, people.
Yes, read, get the information.
Yes.
Make sure you have good facts. All right. Thank you, Shay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for chatting with me today about a couple laws that are coming into play here coming up. I appreciate your time. And she has her brand ShayTuned, so you can find her on Instagram. Yes. And where else can we find you? Facebook?
Facebook, yes.
Facebook and Instagram at ShayTuned. We'll put links for her below as well. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We had a great show here on Good Morning Akron. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.